So we definitely had some questions about the aliens that were just seen about a week ago at the Miami Mall. Is there anything that they would like to say about the events that occurred?
Just that it was time. It was time to allow the natural occurrences of these blendings of these two worlds, if you will, to collide. And it's time to allow to show that nothing catastrophic happened, that it was all happened in safety. And it's also a way to show and disclose to people that these events that have taken place, the cover up that the law enforcement or the government agencies have done in the past and have blamed it, the using the puppetry of illusion, using the rabbit hat of illusion, that it's showing that they said that it was based on something that was occurring, a fight going out. But when people started to question it, which people should always do, is question and use their intuition and understand that things are not always as they seem, that why would 100 to 200 cop cars come for a teen brawl? They start to open their eyes and look around going, wait a minute, that what you're saying to me doesn't sound right. The amount of resources you sent for what you're saying has occurred. In the past, we would have all taken it as the holy word that they would say this would happen. They'd go, okay, this is what happened. And that's what they would talk about the next day around the water cooler with their friends at work or their coworkers. But now people are at a point of awakening and awareness that they are now questioning everything. And that's a beautiful thing. And that they question the government systems of the cover ups, but they're also we saw these things that we walked away with and were being told that they didn't happen, and that there were so many witnesses and eyewitness accounts of what actually occurred of the interdimensional beings, that there was no way to repress the community anymore.
So, who were the beings at the shopping mall?
So they're a benevolent race of beings that were there and interacting, they were just going about, they like to observe humanity, and they were going about their business, and they were just observing humanity. And they are a bigger race. They are not Anunnaki, as you would probably classify them as, because they were a bigger race, but they were just a bigger, benevolent race of beings.
So, are these beings around us all the time? We just haven't had the awareness of it.
Oh, yes. You have beings around you. You have your guides around you at all the time. You have your soul family that's here, not on this plane, but on another plane, that is not playing characters in your experience right now, that do interdimensionally visit you all the time. You have beings who are just walking through, and sometimes they don't know you. Sometimes your dimensions of existence, uh, it reminds Carrie of this movie. It's like The Cold Hour or something, with Nicole Kidman, when they were living in their home, and they were this family was intruding, and they thought the family were the ghosts, and then they realized that they had actually passed and they were the ghosts living in this family's home. But the way they interdimensionally interchanged and interacted with each other, both looked like they were on the spirit realm, because they would hear clunks of the other's existence every so often, hearing noises in the house of the other's existence, and each thought the other's existence was a ghost. But really, it's just they were both parties were residing on different dimensions, so they were aware and unaware of each other at different times. And it's just the same with these interdimensional beings, that they are there. Sometimes you're aware of them, sometimes they're able to fabricate themselves within your reality, and other times it's just that you guys don't even know that the other party is there.
So, was this an event that was meant to happen for a specific reason for the collective, or was it more like these beings were just chilling at the mall and they didn't realize that people would be able to see them?
At first, it was your first expression of them just chilling at the ball and not realizing. But once they were exposed, there was there would have normally been some type of cover up, as far as, if you will, of the intergalactics, we would intervene and we would go and make sure that that was erased and not of existence, or we would say, like, change your frequency, you're exposed. But because that it was, we realized and saw, when there's a choice or thing that happens within the realms, we're able to see that timeline, how it plays out. And we're able to see the future events. And we are able to understand if intervention is a need or not. And at that point, it was felt that it could play out and it would actually help with soft disclosure as far as the timeline, and that there was no intervention needed.
Okay, so I have a question. So I realized that um the frequency of the collective is raising, and that's why we can start seeing these different kinds of beings. How come though we can even like record these beings with our technology? Like, how come you wouldn't have been able to take a picture of them 20 years ago, but we can take pictures and capture it on camera now?
Because the technology is upgraded. It has allowed the more of the scope of the spectrum of light and dimensions within the scopes. But there was a lot of footage that was not able to be produced because of, like, the interdimensional beings. When they naturally have like a protection, like what you would say was your aura, right? That you have here. Well, beings all over, like, that you have that spirit body, even has that natural aura around it. But what happens is, the higher dimension you are as a being, you have this natural protecting EMF or electromagnetic frequency that's around you. You naturally have that around you. And so that EMF frequency does counteract with and counter effect the technology that you have here on Earth. And that's why it wasn't able to be truly, like, acknowledged with the technology that you have as a solid being, because our EMF frequency that we provide around us, it affects your technology.
That actually makes a lot of sense. So if we are able to see the timelines, and that after this event happened, the timelines, it actually helped the disclosure timeline. So does that mean we will start to see more events like this play out for our greatest good in the collective?
Yes, you will be seeing more soft disclosures, if what we're calling it, not the main. We're doing soft disclosures, and we're testing the frequency and seeing if it raises, drops the vibration, where if it puts people in fear. And on all honesty, it does not put people in fear. This event does not scare people. This event actually just caused a chain reaction of questions